All right, welcome everyone. My name is Peter, and I'm here to help you with a very important, problem that a lot of us have, and that is that there's a lot of stuff going on out there in the world today, and the less inner turmoil we have going on in here, the better. All right, and I'm right here with you. I've been known to have upwards of 2 or 3 thoughts at the same time, and it can really get to you. You can start feeling dizzy, lightheaded, depressed, and it's just good to be able to slow it down and be able to think one thought at a time, especially when it comes to setting goals for yourself, right? And the technique I'm about to show you, which I call mind mapping, which is not a new term, it's been around, but I have a specific way of doing it for myself, which I think you could also do. I'll show it to you. And basically, this works for large and small goals. The biggest of goals, the smallest of goals, whether you just want to get the dishes done or, take out the garbage, go to the grocery store, maybe something bigger like, graduate college or the goal I'm going to show you today is something that is important to me: become the greatest artist of all time. Right? And the point here is that I have pencil, piece of paper. The first step for all of these is to write, I am me. Okay, because this is your starting point right here for every single mind map. I am me. This is where you are, and this is what you are, and that's never going to change. What this means might change, but that's okay. And then down here, you write your goal. Big or small, doesn't matter. Maybe like 2/3, 3/4 of the way down the paper. So there's a little bit of room underneath it maybe, but not too much. You can write, become the greatest artist of all time. Just like that. Good. And don't worry about it being too neat or sloppy. It doesn't matter. All right. So basically, we're going to work our way from here down to here. And, it's just going to be like one big flow chart, basically, a big mind map. Everything you have, everything that it might take to get there, you could do it without writing it all down, without mapping it out. But things might start getting complicated. Right? You might start, what about this? What about that? And then it'll get all tangled in your brain. So let's just map it out. And then later you can come back to the mind map and it'll all be peachy. It'll all be laid out there before you, all neat, clean, perfect. And you can breathe. So let's get started. Basically what you want to do is right here in the middle space, put the thing right here in the middle that you think is the main thing you want to do or that you might need to do. That's either stopping you or is the main stepping stone. So I think personally that to become the greatest artist of all time, to get from where I am now to here, I just need to make a lot of art. I think that's the main thing I need to do. And it's okay. You don't have to, if this, you determine this is wrong later, that's all right. Just go with your gut here. Well, I spelled this wrong already because I was talking while I was writing. This is a terrible eraser. Make a lot of art. All right? And then, so there's going to be like a line connecting these. But you might think to get from here to here now, there's another step. To make a lot of art, you're going to have what? A lot of time, right? Yeah. But we're going to have to make time. Sacrifice some other things. Maybe sacrifice some sleep, social, work, play, possibly a time machine. Always keep that in mind. We got a couple ways to make time there. Plus, in order to keep track of time, we'll need a watch. So we can just use our phone or get a wristwatch or just ask people the time all the time. Or wall clocks. Wall clocks are a thing. For a wristwatch, you can either get a cheap one or a nice one. For a nice one, you'll need money, which is another big thing. For money, you'll need a job, maybe. Could have a job. You don't need a job. Or inheritance. Win the lottery. Live frugally is a very good option. A job can take up a lot of, or uses a lot of time. It also uses energy. We could put over here. Energy is a very important resource we need for this. Energy we get from food, friends, like emotional energy, sleeping. How much though? How much should we sleep? A lot? A little? A lot feels good. And a little makes time. I can draw this sleep arrow back up here. Really, these two sleeps could have been connected, or the same sleep. Also, time never stops. That's important to think about. Also, for money, I could find a sugar mama. What kind of job do I want, though? There's different kinds, like as far as how they make me feel, like do I sacrifice like low pay, high emotional reward? Or high pay, low emotional reward? Hopefully both. A combination, if possible. Also, to make a lot of art, we need a lot of art supplies, which we need money for. But what kind, and where do we get them? Where to get? Of course, we can buy a lot of them on Amazon. Local, like the new Jerry's store that opened here. That's really about it, honestly, for local shopping for me. Friends might give me some or share with me. Borrow a pencil, sort of thing. Actually, I could shop at Michael's also, in a pinch. Or Hobby Lobby, if I really had to. It's happened before. So it's not crazy to think that it might happen again. What kind? Most simply would just be pen and paper. That's what I like to call this category of art supply. Just need paper, just need pens. Also, that goes along with living frugally, because it's cheaper. Could get lots of paints and paint supplies, which could go under acrylics, oils, watercolor. For something like oils, you also need a bunch of other crap. Maybe an easel, canvases, all these weird chemicals. Also for acrylics, you also need the easel and the canvases. You need like linseed oil, paint thinner. But are you going to use like Gamsol or turpentine or something else, that I don't know about? For all of those, you need brushes. Also, to make a lot of art, let's not forget that we need ideas. And where do these come from? They can come from other art, whether that's same medium, like whether it's like visual, audible. Yeah, because music is great. Music is a great way to get inspiration. Ideas, aka inspiration. All right, we got to write that down. The world. It just comes from the world sometimes. Just look around, right? Nothing in particular, just things we experience around us. Also, some ideas comes from experiences. Good ones and bad. Also, becoming the greatest artist of all time might make me some money. Draw an arrow back up there. Also, money can be bad or good. If we have bad experiences, we can use art to vent and make art that way. Also, between making a lot of art and becoming the greatest artist of all time, you're going to need some feedback. You're not creating art in a vacuum sort of deal. Maybe from experts would be good, if you can. Whatever you consider an expert. From peers. From the general public. I'll just write Gen Pop. I really need to sharpen this pencil, but I don't have a pencil sharpener. Then once you have the feedback, you can, funnel it back through into the process of becoming that. Also, as you're living frugally, a good way to do that is, don't eat out too much. And wear all your clothes. Don't buy clothes, don't buy new clothes. You don't need to. Wear the same clothes for a long time. Oh, there is this place nearby called, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like secondhand art supplies. You can buy used art supplies there. It's pretty cool. I haven't been there yet, but I think it's worth checking out sometime. Also, you can get cheap or expensive brushes. These, it's okay if you lose them. These ones, they quote unquote do better. Also, with these kinds of jobs, sometimes you get neither of these combinations. I should have mentioned that. Obviously not the goal, but it's a possibility. Sometimes you get low pay and low emotional reward. Also, for money, you could rob a bank or do something illegal. There are illegal options, which it's worth putting down just for the sake of the flow chart. Rob a bank. Sell drugs. Counterfeit. I don't know how to spell counterfeit. Or should I counterfeit cash? Another good way. Also, you could sell organs. Could also make a virgin sacrifice. That seemed to please the old gods. Maybe it'll work now. Also, this idea right here may be worth looking into some more. Really not sure. We should start now on this. Working on that. Also, if we could solve the problem of perpetual energy, then, well, perpetual is something that, first of all, never stops, so we can tie those together. Also, we would have an unlimited source of money. Can we? Pencil lead's almost gone. Regardless, we don't want coal energy, right? We want to go green. Solar, that's an option. Hydro, right? Nuclear. Expensive, but it's an option. We got it's subsidized. Big plus of solar is it looks cool, which comes down to inspiration. Other things that look cool include valves, pipes, like industrial plants. Knobs. Machinery in general. Wiring, right? I like wiring. I like instrument panels. Also flowers. Also, down here under money, we should make sure we consider investing. But I don't really know how that works, so I'm just going to write that it's scary. Mostly through my own ignorance. Also keep in mind the fact that if they're secondhand art supplies, it makes it feel okay if you lose them. Connect those together, and they're usually cheaper. Also, when we look at this main thing up here, I am me, it's important that you are you, and I am me, right? So confidence is an important part of this. Self-confidence. You're gonna have to believe in yourself. Believe things like you can do anything. And then that will help you believe that you can make a lot of art, that you can, become the greatest artist of all time. You can almost go straight from you can do anything to, all the way down here to become the greatest artist of all time. Also, it's important to note that as far as ideas go, some ideas themselves come down around here are good, and some ideas you could consider bad, but they're still valuable. And some art is bad, as you consider it. And some art you would consider good. Also, once you become the greatest artist of all time, you may become one of these experts. And hopefully, after you become the greatest artist of all time, you can inspire others, maybe even before that point. Right, it's a very important part. And then they will also goes to top of this kind of This goes to the top of the page. All right. It wraps up to like right here. From bottom. They become themselves, and it starts the whole process over again. And then there's a bunch of people becoming themselves, making a lot of art. And there'll be a ton of us all becoming the greatest artist of all time. Or, fill this in with whatever you want to be, the greatest, baker, the greatest tennis player, the greatest lying in bed at night and reading books person, chilling, watching Netflix person. But now once you sketch all this out, you know how to go about it. You don't have to be intimidated by the process, right? You ever feel lost, overwhelmed? You just pull this out. Look at that. A mind map to success. It'd be almost difficult not to succeed. It's all right there. Then you just got to go through the steps. Next thing you know, there you are. Let me know if you have any questions.